Welcome to my video on Hiragana and Katakana and my experience with learning them. I recently decided that I'd like to start learning how to speak and read and understand Japanese through my love of Dragon Ball Z, like on my t-shirt, the video games I play like the Yakuza series, different mangas, Frieren being one of them. So yeah, I decided I wanted to learn how to speak and understand Japanese. The first step that I read I should take was to be able to read the kana and learn the two different alphabets, Hiragana and Katakana. Now to do that, I purchased this book. This is Lingo Mastery's Japanese Hiragana and Katakana Made Easy. Now, I'd not looked into studying the kana much other than a quick Google search, so I used a rote memorization technique that you would have picked up in school. So essentially just writing everything over and over and over and over again until it sticks in your head. This book doesn't use mnemonics, it just has the kana and you just write them over and over and over again. I wouldn't recommend doing it like that. There are vastly better ways. I came across after I'd studied both of the kana alphabets, a website called Tofugu. Tofugu has a guide on how to learn all of the different characters through mnemonics. They also have a quiz that you can do where you can just test yourself on your knowledge of the kana. If I was going to do it again, I would have used that method instead. I would have focused more on understanding and being able to read the kana than being able to write it. I mean, the one benefit that I have now is that I can write them all from memory with no issues whatsoever, but it really slowed down me getting into learning Japanese. I mean, I spent 2 weeks of my evenings after work getting home and writing out the kana and testing myself on it when I could have just learnt the kana, how to recognize them, and then being able to study Japanese straight away. But one thing I would say is absolutely do not start with romaji. Don't try and learn Japanese using romaji. It's not a writing system that they use in Japan. You won't see it anywhere. I mean, you might, but realistically you won't see it anywhere. The only other method that I would recommend doing, perhaps, I mean, I haven't tried this method, but from what I've seen, it worked for some people. The George Trombley Japanese from Zero books, they look pretty popular. You learn Hiragana, Katakana while going through the books. So every chapter they'll introduce 5 more Hiragana or 5 more Katakana, and you will learn it as you go through the book. But the only thing with this is you are going to be reading romaji, and you might get used to reading romaji and not want to actually learn the kana. And given that after the kana you have to learn 2000 plus kanji, probably worth learning the kana first. It'll be easier for you to write, type, read things when you move on to your next method of study for learning Japanese, so I highly recommend learning that first. Lastly, the reason I'm making this video is basically to hold myself accountable. I'm gonna try and do more videos as I study more and more Japanese, but I do want to hold myself accountable. I'm very good at picking up new hobbies and dropping them immediately, and I'm pretty proud of myself for managing to learn to read and write all of the kana so far. I know that is just the beginning of the journey, and this is a long one, which is why I'm going to make these videos. My advice would probably be, if you are going to start learning Japanese, don't maybe go and tell your friends and family that you're going to go and learn Japanese, because the second you tell someone you're learning Japanese, perhaps the next week they'll say, oh, can you speak to me in Japanese? And then you'll tell me something in Japanese, and you're going to have the issue where you perhaps have only just learned the kana and you've got to sit down and explain that to someone, and it's going to make you feel demotivated, possibly, that you haven't learnt any yet, because it isn't a quick and easy process. It is a long journey that's going to take you some time. And on that note, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for watching. If this is something that you'll want to get into and try, then I wish you the best of luck. Thank you again for watching. Bye bye.